Hey kids, this is a wonderful story called Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, and it was illustrated by E.B. Lewis. It's a really deep story, so we better get going on it. Each Kindness. Look at that. Pretty familiar with that, aren't we? And we're really familiar with this page. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down on the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello?" And we all stared at her. Her coat was open and her clothes beneath looked old and ragged, and her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for snow. A strap on one of them had broken. So maybe she came from not a lot of money. Our teacher, Miss Albert, said, "Say good morning to our new student." And most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me, and that's where my teacher put Maya. And on the first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little further away from her, and when she looked my way, I turned and looked out the window and stared out at the snow. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and I didn't smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard with our fingers laced together, whispered secrets to each other's ears. One day, when we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and a tiny red ball that she had gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said. None of us wanted to play. So Maya played by herself. She played a game against herself. She needs a friend. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jack's champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend. Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. Well, weeks passed every day, and we whispered about Maya. We laughed at her clothes and her shoes, the strange food she brought for lunch. And some days Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school: a deck of cards, a pickup sticks, a small tattered doll. Whatever she asked us to play with, we said no. Well, the days grew warmer and warmer, and the pond thawed. Grass began growing where the snow had once been, and one day Maya came to school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes, but the shoes and the dress looked like they had belonged to another girl before Maya. "I have a name for her," Kendra whispered. "Never knew." "Everything she has comes from a second-hand store." We all laughed, and Maya, she stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope, but did not come over to us to ask us if we wanted to play, and after a while she folded it double, rolled the ends around each hand, and started jumping. She jumped and jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. She didn't even look up once. She just jumped and jumped and jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Miss Elbert had brought a big bowl into the class and filled it with water. We were all gathered around the desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Mrs. Elbert said. "Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple in the world." Then Miss Elbert let us drop the stone in as we told her what kind of things we had done. Joseph had held the door for his grandmother, and Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even mean old Andrew had something. "I carried teacher's books up the stairs," he said, and Miss Elbert said it was true. I stood there, holding Elbert's rock in my hand, silent. "Even small things count," Mrs. Elbert said gently. I couldn't think of anything. And so I passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day, or the day after that. Each morning I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day Maya returned, and she would look at me and smile, and I promised myself this would be the day that I smiled back. "Each kindness," Miss Elbert said, "makes a whole world a little bit better." But Maya's seat remained empty. And one day Miss Elbert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had moved away, Mrs. Elbert said. Then she told us to take out our notebooks, and it was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. And when I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wish I would have said to Maya. Each kindness that I never showed. I threw small stones into it and over, and I watched the way the water rippled out and away. Out and away. Each kindness done and not done. Like every girl somewhere, holding a small gift out to someone, and that someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of a kindness with Maya became more and more forever gone. The end. So, boys and girls, is it important to make sure that you are kind to people? It is. She had a chance, and she missed the opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity that you have. Say something nice. Be kind to someone. You never know how much rippling you can be as an effective person. You guys have a good day, and be kind to one another. Try it.